Hey guys, Richard Aficionado Channel and Reefs.com. Welcome to Reef-A-Palooza New York 2021, and I'm here with my good friend Gareth from Real Reef Rocks. Now this rock is somewhat very special to me actually, because this is the rock that I use in my personal build, as well as the aquaculture exhibit build that we have put together in Frost Science Museum. And we're here to learn a little bit about this rock and maybe why you should consider using this rock in your build. How are you doing, Gareth?
Pretty good, Richard.
Good to meet you.
Good to see you today.
Yep. Now tell me about Real Reef in the company and all about these rocks.
So we basically became Real Reef in its full entirety in about 2011, but we've been working on developing an aquaculture rock product for the previous 10 to 15 years prior to that.
Yes.
We did have a full-line fish and coral wholesale business. During that time, we were large importers of wild rock, and there was a number of closures during that time, and we realized there was definitely a need on many levels to have an alternative supply to wild rock. Coral and fish has much less impact than the rock environment. When the rock is removed, it doesn't grow back. So
right.
We could see that there was a need to have a high quality aquaculture product to supply the aquarium market with a product that works in their tanks.
Right, right. So that was how the company was born. Now, like, tell me, like, people are like usually saying, well, is this as porous as live rock? Does it hold bacteria just as well?
It's absolutely, it's the equivalent porousness of live rock in the sense that you don't want it to be more porous, so it's going to attract more detritus, gain more anaerobic areas. This provides the ideal surface area for bacteria to colonize to provide the ideal filtration for your tanks. Gotcha.
What I really like about your rocks is people like that coralline algae on it,
right.
And then like dry rock, although I like dry rock and the concept of it, one thing I dread about it is it's white. It looks ugly for a few months until it starts to finally see the coralline and start to look colorful. I like that how everything is already pre-colored. Is this something that you guys designed? Like, and then how does it work? Like, does it last, like for years to come, or does it eventually chip away?
So the initial iteration of the rock, when we first made it, it was white, and then we started messing around with developing some color for it, and we figured why not, and we were able to find a water-based stain that penetrates into the rock, that provides enough color and enough longevity to provide that natural color whilst you're growing coralline in your tank and give you that time to develop.
Gotcha. What do you guys have on different shapes, and how did that come about?
A few different styles. Our main Real Reef rock is basically based on a Tongan style of boulder type rock.
Yes.
That would be the main rock that we sell. Other styles we have are the Tonga branch.
Yes.
Various styles of that, and then some of the newer rocks we have, we've designed some plate corals, like monoporas.
Cap designs.
A couple of years to grow your own. Just put one right in there.
Yes.
And then we also have a completely flat version, which is
like a shelf design. Right. One thing I really liked about the design, especially the Tonga rocks, because Tonga rocks are illegal to get now if you can't get them anywhere else.
Yeah.
So I like that stick design. And the negative space design of aquascaping has become such a thing these days. When I set up my system, I use just boxes and boxes of this and put it together, shelf as a base, and just create a fixture with just using this. And it came out such a phenomenal space where, it gives so much space because, like this itself, there's so many rooms in between the rocks and such. When you put it together, fish are able to swim, have their own hiding spots. I think it was just a great thought process when you guys made that.
And the thought process ultimately came from experience. With myself and my two other partners, we have run a collection station in Tonga. We ran it for many, many years. I personally lived there for a year myself. My other partners have also been down there too. So we know exactly what this rock looks like in the wild.
Right.
We've collected the rock. We know where the branch rock is and how the fish colonies react to how the branch structures and other rock structures are there in the wild. So we didn't just magically come up with this, well, it should look like this. It was taken from personal experience of this is what it looks like in the wild. We want to try and emulate that in a natural, clean form for an aquarium.
Gotcha. Now, if you were to give somebody recommendations, somebody that's using your tank, is there any tips and advice that you could give them?
I mean, you can use the basic formula of about a pound per gallon for your filtration needs, but ultimately the aquarium needs to be beautiful and it needs to be aesthetic to your eye. So it doesn't matter what I think it should look like.
Yeah.
Everybody's going to have a different idea.
Right, of a beauty.
If you have a minimal aquascape, as long as you have an additional area for extra filtration, additional ceramic media, biomedia, bioballs, whatever it is, as long as you have enough surface area for a bacteria colony to support the tank should be your own artistic expression, basically.
Gotcha. They're very right about that. Is there any like a misconceptions about this rock that maybe you may want to correct it in the video?
I mean, I've heard, oh, it's paint. It's not paint. It's a water-based. Saying, oh, it's epoxy. It's not epoxy. In fact, the whole material that we use is 100% calcium carbonate. It's basically made from a grain of sand, calcite sand, aragonite sand, oolitic sand, aragonite, calcite, seashells.
I noticed seashells on the shelf box. Yeah,
it's everything that you would find in wild rock without the inherent issues. So,
gotcha.
It's also not a dry product. We have it in water for 5 months before we ship to stores.
Is that right?
It basically has been leached out, and it's basically a basic biology and bacteria growing on the rock, and it's sent to stores in damp paper. So you have a live rock. I noticed that in Biota, because you guys partnered with Biota when they first opened up with their fluval tanks and such, they had everything that like in a water container, and they said that these came already wet. So I was like, really? Yeah. Okay. I mean, everything is grown in tanks on our facility. So. Very awesome. Well, Gareth, thank you so much for spending some time with us to let us know about Real Reef Rock and all your products and everything in your lineup. And we're looking so much forward to your new innovation that you have to bring at Reef-A-Palooza Chicago. Appreciate you coming out, and any of the existing aquarists that have already bought the product, we really appreciate the support. We just look forward to taking it to the next level. That's it, man. Well, good to see you, and have a great show. Thanks, Richard.